Hi everyone, I'm Janet Reed, your instructor for creative writing this fall semester of 2020. Welcome to my very first ever home video, where I am trying to learn how to be smooth like Stephen Colbert and not do anything stupid like in the SNL Zoom video that went viral back when this pandemic first started last spring. If you haven't seen that one, Google the SNL Zoom skit. It's worth your time. So hello. How are you guys doing? That's the first thing to say is how are you? We are in the weirdest time of my life and it's been hard for all of us. So I want first of all to say I am so glad to be working with you this semester and to say that we must all learn grace and return to some basics of the social skills we learned in kindergarten, to be kind and generous with each other. We are not in a normal time, as you know. So as I tell you a little bit about me and I ask you to tell me a little bit about you, I'm interested in how you've been coping and what surprises you've come across in the last few months, being quarantined and doing things differently. And what kind of cool masks have you found? Because I'm looking for something a little better than what I have. So first of all, let me tell you a little bit about my educational background. And then when you introduce yourself to me, I'd like to know what your goals and aspirations are as well. So currently, I am enrolled in the MFA program at UMKC, and I live here in Kansas City. I lived in Nevada, Missouri until a little more than a year ago when I retired from teaching English at Crowder College and published my first book and moved up here to participate in a terminal degree, a lifetime bucket goal list for me. So I'm excited to be doing that. And even though things are not quite working out as I had envisioned when I made the move, it's still working out. And sometimes plan A goes to plan B. So to have gotten this far means that I had to have an advanced degree. And so I do have one from Pittsburgh State University. I earned a master's degree in English with a literature emphasis there in 2003. And I taught English from 2003 to 2019 at Crowder in Nevada. I've taught for Connie before too. After I got that degree, I taught English 102. I'm a PEO, so I'm very familiar with CAUTI and how the campus works. And as a PEO and a feminist and an interested person in women's education, I'm really excited to be joining you this fall. So I earned a bachelor's degree after attending 6 or 7 different schools, colleges, and universities from the time I graduated high school until I finally found my way forward to do the thing that I had always wanted to do. And that bachelor's degree is in English also. So how I got here and how this worked out is part goes back to my childhood when I wanted to be a writer. More than anything else, I wanted to be a writer, and I would spend my summers writing knock. See, smooth like Stephen Colbert, knockoff Nancy Drew stories. I had a character that I developed. Her name was Laura Drake. She drove a purple VW Beetle. She had no boyfriend because she did not need one. And unlike Nancy Drew, she was not rich and she was not blonde. I was very proud of Laura and the ways in which I had made her look like me. Um, Writing at the time that I was growing up and in my family wasn't really a very acceptable thing to do. And so I put those things aside, journaling, writing for myself, doing those kinds of things all through my life, but not really getting serious about the craft until 2012 when my mother died. And once my mother died, I felt like I had permission to do the writing that I wanted to do. And I've been working hard at that ever since. So, yes, I'm old, but I'm not the oldest person in my MFA program. That was an encouragement to me when I started last year. And so I am using this new chapter of my life to do something that I started when I was 9 and 10 years old. So that's a little bit about where I am and the person that I am. And so I am really super interested in knowing what your goals for writing are and how you're approaching it and why you're taking this class. Your first assignment for the first week will be an introductory exercise. So by all means, share those kinds of things with me. I'm truly interested, right? Okay, so um, writing requires us to be vulnerable with each other. It requires us to have some grit and some determination and to take some risks. And this is a safe space where I intend to make that happen. So we're going to learn all kinds of things about each other this semester. Some of the things that we share will be personal, perhaps. Writers have to be risk takers to craft their very best work. So fiction lets you lie, poetry lets you lie, but you got to be honest with yourself. And that's one thing that I have learned in this process to do that. So what I hope we create here is the kind of safe space that allows us to take those risks and yet not do anything that would violate another person's sense of self or integrity. All right, so in my personal life, besides writing and going to school and teaching, I have two sons. My older son is beginning a teaching career this week at Moberly, and he will be teaching fifth grade. My younger son is a pulmonary critical care fellow at University Hospital on Mizzou's campus. He's in his second year. He has spent his entire life in school. He'll be 32 years old this fall and has 1.5 more years of school to go. He is intubating COVID patients, and he has his mother absolutely terrified, which means that I don't get to see a whole lot of him, and that's been a really hard thing to deal with right now, too. So basically, I have been holed up in an apartment by myself with my two dogs. I can't say alone because I do have two dogs. And I assume that during the course of the semester, you will hear them barking in the background. So, but largely, this has been a time of solitude and reflection and a fallow time to regroup and think. So that's a little bit about me and about who I am. And again, I'm looking forward to meeting you and finding out all of the goals and aspirations that you have for this class. So welcome. We'll get started and see where we land when we're done in December. Nice to meet you.